Hi, my name is Melissa Spanbauer, and the movie review screencast I chose to do was on the movie Radio. The key cast members in Radio are Ed Harris, Cuba Gooding Jr., Deborah Wingier, and S. Apatha Merkerson. Ed Harris plays the role as Harold Jones, the high school football coach in the small town of Hannah, South Carolina during the 1970s. Coach Jones takes an interest in James Robert Kennedy, which was really Cuba Gooding Jr. He was a mentally challenged young man nicknamed Radio, and he wanders through the town with a shopping cart. He was nicknamed Radio because when they first met him outside the football field during practices, he would never say his name. Once they found out that he liked listening to the radio and liked that gift that the coach had given him, as I said, he didn't tell us what his name was at first, and they nicknamed him Radio because he just loved that radio. It was him and the radio as one. Radio became the football team's biggest booster and begins to attend classes at the high school. At first, he barely talked, but then soon he started announcing the daily lunch menu over the PA system and helped with announcements in the morning. The coach tried very hard to keep radio at the school. Many people at the school, many parents, school board members, the athletic people in the athletic department, some parents, team members didn't want radio around. However, Jones, the coach, his persistence, coupled with radio's warm and forgiving nature, won over the critics, and Radio became a permanent 11th grader at the high school. He didn't understand the purpose of moving on to 12th grade, being a senior, moving on, and he just wanted to continue to learn since his education and his intelligence was much lower than the average student. So he became a permanent 11th grader, the one and only in Hannah, South Carolina at that high school. The film is based on a true story. And the real Coach Jones and Radio are now middle-aged or even probably a little older. And they still cheer on the team, and they appear during the credits, and I have a picture of the two of them later in this presentation. So there's a nice little picture of Radio, both of them. He's just a happy, loving kind of guy. As said before, he was a mentally challenged guy, but he had a big heart, wanted to give and love and share his gift with the world. And fortunately, Coach Jones was loving enough to kind of realize that he's always been in Hannah forever. He's been in Hannah forever, and everyone knew him, but no one really got the chance to get to know him or give him a chance, and Coach Jones did. What event in Coach Jones' life prompts him to reach out to Radio? At one point in the movie, multiple points in the movie, people had asked Coach Jones, why are you doing this for Radio? Why? Where's this coming from? And I posted a picture here of his daughter also because it was in the car. He was trying to deepen and enrich in his relationship with his daughter. His daughter's a junior in high school. And he was trying to find a way. How can I open up to her? How can we deepen our relationship? So he sat down with her in the car and told his daughter something he had never told anyone else, which was like the main or huge reason that he was helping Radio, which is just kind of the background and the motion of it. He goes on to explain that when he was about 10 years old, he had a paper route with a wide territory, and he would go out, he would cut through the woods a lot, and just try to take that shortcut as much as he could, trying to get all the papers delivered. One day he heard a crying sound. He thought it was an animal, but he saw under the house, and it was fenced in with wire and boards, and it was actually a boy about his age. Coach Jones at the time, Harold knew something was wrong with this boy, but didn't know what. He was probably mentally challenged also, but we don't really know. He doesn't say anything like that. That's just my guess. And Harold Jones, as a child, 10 years old, passed by that area for about 2 years doing this paper route, going through the same area, and he never said anything or did anything about it. And I think that's something that he kind of always had on his shoulder, that, now radio comes along, James Robert Kennedy, aka Radio, comes along and needs somebody, needs help, needs a mentor, and I think Coach Jones realizes that this is his time to step up. Who gains the most from the relationship, the coach or Radio? I truly believe it was the coach. Many, many, many people called him out for helping a mentally disabled man, a black man, the combination, and the coach was very, very respected in Hannah and at that high school. I think Coach Jones truly was happy. Near the middle end of the movie, spoiler alert, he quits his job as a football coach because first the critics were just harsh on him, but he wanted to spend more time with his daughter. He wanted to spend more time with Radio, and he found that coaching was a great thing in his life, but he just needed to step back from that position and from that stress. I think he truly found happiness with Radio and knew that helping Radio in return made him happy. Now did Radio gain something from this relationship? I would definitely say yes. At one point, multiple points, Coach Jones encounters Radio's mom, and they talk and they make a great relationship. At one point in the movie, a little later in the movie, Radio's mom actually dies from a heart attack. And of course, Coach Jones is there for Radio. Coach Jones is kind of that rescuer, and comes in and just wants Radio to make sure to know that he still has family, he still has someone to love him. On the left, this picture here is just a picture of the two talking and, discussing life. And the picture on the right is the real Radio and the real Coach Jones together, more recent picture. Are the football players, students, and family members hurt because the coach invests so much time in Radio? What limits should leaders set on the amount of time and effort they invest in the lives of followers? I would say first are the football players, students, and family members hurt? I would say some of the football players are hurt. The really cocky, athletic football, basketball guy, he does not like the attention Radio's getting. He does not like Radio at all. And he was very against the whole concept. In the beginning of the movie, Radio was tied up from some football players because he got some attention from Coach Jones. I believe the football players, there were a select few that were nice to him, but overall many were not happy. For the students, hurt because the coach had put so much time into Radio. The coach was also one of the teachers at the school. I would say most of the students were not hurt, just what I observed through the movie. Most Radio thought it was the funniest thing because the students, would go on with their day, and Radio would be that guy saying, no running, and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, but they'd rather get yelled at by Radio than a teacher. And radio also had a lot of joy saying the morning lunch over the PA. So overall, I don't think the students really were that upset. Maybe some. And the family members hurt because the coach invested so much time in radio. I would say no. Radio would call the house and would talk to different family members, whether it's the daughter, the mom, or coach. Radio would call and talk to any of them. He'd ask them, which pants should I wear to dinner? Which pants should I wear tonight? And the radio, sitting there just asking these questions, and he's like, should I wear these? Back in 1970s, they didn't have FaceTime or anything like that, in which he could actually show them what he was talking about. But the mom went along with him, was like, yeah, those look great, and I could tell the family members were very supportive of Coach. I think even the coach spending and investing so much time in radio may have and could have hurt his relationship with his daughter. I think it enriched his relationship with his daughter more than anything. Lastly, what limits should be set on leaders for the amount of time and effort they invest in the lives of their followers? I personally think no limits should be set. In Coach Jones' position, he was that leader for radio in the classroom, out of the classroom, before school, after school curriculars, on the football field. Coach Jones really stepped up. Do I think every leader needs to do that? No. And some leaders may have more on their plate than others and may have a different situation where maybe they should set some limits. However, in radio's position and in this movie, I felt going above and beyond like Coach Jones did was an exceptional thing, and I think it was very, very awesome and very just very noble of him to do, and something that not a lot of people do nowadays. But I think it's something we should be doing more, is going up and out of our way for other people. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.